Welcome to this 25-minute Snowboarders circuit session. We're going to jump straight into the warm-up. I want this to be quick and fast, so we're just going to start with some light walking on the spot. You can start doing a light jog if you want to. You can go straight into star jumps if you want to. This is just about moving your body and warming it up. I just like to get my legs moving, swing my arms. This is a precursor to doing some star jumps, especially if you're very cold and you just need to warm up your body, like physically warm it up. Okay, so we're going to move on to star jumps. So same thing, just keep this light, keep this easy. You don't need to be pushing, but we do want to just elevate that heart rate. We want to be getting a bit out of breath, starting to get warm by the end of these 60 seconds. So the circuit session today is going to be a take on a Tabata. So we're going to be doing 40 seconds of work with 20 seconds of rest. And the exercises have been carefully curated so that you can, so I'm dancing around now, I get a bit bored, I've got a short attention span. So if you want to make this more interesting, feel free to dance around while you do star jumps. We are going to be doing one sort of cardio strength, then we're going to go into a sort of specific strength and conditioning exercise, then we're going to go back into a strength and cardio, and the exercise will kind of alternate in that way so that we can build some strength and mobility but also get our cardio in as well. Okay, so having done that, we're now going to go into some rotations, so just simple hip rotations to begin with. We're going to go 5 one way, 5 the other way. Just really lean into it, really get all the way around into those muscles. We're just loosening up here, so we don't need to be pressing super hard. We're going to move on to the knees. So just bring those feet together, knees together, just roll them round in one direction, roll them in the other. Try and keep this quite quick. We want to keep that heart rate up. We want to keep warm before we start a session. So now we're going to do one ankle and your wrists together at the same time. We're doing 10 of these. Now we'll swap our ankles and we're into the elbows, like you're winding down the windows, just getting into every joint and just loosening them up. Okay, now we're going to do some squat to arms over heads. So 30 seconds of this as fast as you can. Again, you don't need to go super deep in your squat at the moment. This is just a warm up, but this is just going to keep that heart rate up and also start to stretch and get the blood flowing around our legs and our arms. So keep going with this, go as fast as you can, really push through, really get that heart rate up. So we're now going to go into a forward lunge to side lunge. I got a bit confused here, I was going the wrong way for the camera. I'm a big fan of doing reverse lunges if you want to, but for me today, forward lunges were working a bit better, just for the camera. Keep going, alternating feet. Try and get as deep as you can. Every time you're doing this exercise, you're probably going to find it's loosening up a bit, so just keep working into those looser areas. Okay, so we're going into arm swings, just 20 seconds here. Just warm those shoulders up, warm the arms up. If you want to, you can start doing alternating hands, so they're going in different directions. Just play around with it, get into the space that feels good for you. And then the final exercise we're going into here is a shoulder warm up. So you're going to have your hands out to the side, keep your thumbs pointing up. We're all having a great time doing this exercise. You're going to go up, down, forwards, and then point them backwards. And you're going to do 5 repetitions. Now we're on to 4 repetitions of each. Coming out now into 3 repetitions. Every time slightly increasing that range of motion, so the arms are going a bit further every time. 2, forward, then back. And then 1, up, down, forwards, back. And that's it. Okay, great work. So that's a quick warm up. We're going to go straight into our session. So the first exercise coming up is going to be a pulse squat. I'm going to do the first round are beginner variations. I'll then do some slightly harder variations for the second round, but you just pick what works for you. Okay, so straight into the pulse squat here. So basically it's a squat hold with a light pulse. Just keeping nice and low. This is really going to imitate, obviously, being on your board, sliding down the mountain. Kind of if we're ever doing those the sort of falling leaf exercises, or yeah, big calves, we're going to be really squatting down into those. So this is a great exercise for that. Keep going. Just 5 seconds to go now. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Okay, so 20 seconds of rest. Your next exercise is going to be a knees over toes calf raise. So you're going to be leaning against a wall. You're going to have your back foot out with your knee bent. And you're going to be pushing up into the wall, going right up onto your toes, and then bringing your heel back down to the ground, making sure that that knee stays over the toe every time. So the knee shouldn't be moving, it should be staying as flexed as it can. Should be feeling a really nice stretch as your heel goes back down to the ground. Just keep pushing into that. We're going to do 20 seconds on one side, then we're going to change over now. So let's swap foot, do 20 seconds on the other side. I'm just creating an angle here so you can see what's going on, but you can just face straight into the wall. It's much easier. That's great. Keep pushing through on that. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. So next exercise is going to be a mountain climber. So we're going to go down into a plank position for this. Make sure we keep our back nice and straight. And then I want you to go cross body, so your knee's going to go to the opposite elbow as best you can. If your range allows, then really getting your knee up, touching your elbow. Okay, here we go. Let's go as fast as we can now. This is great cardio, great stability, really good core. Keep pushing. Keep getting those knees as close to the elbows as you can. Okay, we're coming up to halfway through now. Try and keep that back nice and straight. Try and keep those shoulders rounded. Keep a nice core, nice solid trunk. Pushing those knees as far forward as you can. Trying to touch those elbows. Keep going, and rest. Next exercise is a tibialis raise. So you're just going to lean against a wall here, and all you're going to do is lift your toes up to the sky, keeping your heels on the ground. The further your feet are from the wall, the harder it is. The closer to the wall, the easier it is. Here we go, 40 seconds. Nice and slow, at least 2 seconds up and 2 seconds down. And just try and really push those toes to the sky, especially as you get through towards the end of this set. You'll start feeling a little bit of fatigue in the front of your shins. Really try and squeeze and push those toes right up to the ceiling. Remember, if you're finding it easy, just step further from the wall. If you're finding it hard, step closer to the wall. Okay, keep pushing now for 3, 2, 1, and rest. So that's another conditioning exercise. So we're going to move into more of a strength and cardio. We're going to do some Russian twists here. So this is where you sat on the ground. You're going to have your hands in front of you, twisting to the sides. Okay, 40 seconds now. Here we go. If you want to make it harder, you lift your feet off the ground. If you want to make it easier, keep your feet on the ground. Great work, great work. We're coming up now to halfway through. Try and keep that head facing forwards, so that it's just your shoulders rotating. Trying to get those hands all the way down towards the ground, so you're really feeling a strong twist in your upper torso. Okay, almost there in your last 10 seconds here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Next exercise is going to be a shoulder exercise. So we're going to be standing up with a slight hip hinge. Then we're going to be doing a series of Y, T, and W shapes with our arms. So we're going to have them out to the sides, keeping them right up in line with our shoulders. Here we go, 40 seconds. So up Y and squeezing those shoulder blades, lift our thumbs to the sky. Really contracting here in your shoulder blades on every move. So that you're keeping those. Imagine you've got an egg and you're trying to pinch it between your shoulder blades. Keep going. Keep squeezing those shoulders really tight. Keep going. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Next exercise is going to be frog jumps. So we're going to be going down into a deep squat. Then we're just going to be jumping forward, trying to get our feet between our hands. Okay, here we go, 40 seconds. So keep moving, keep jumping. You can go forward and back, or you can just travel all the way in one direction if your room's big enough. Then you can turn around and come back the other way. Try and get those feet up between your hands. This is a massive hip opener. It's going to be really helpful for when you're standing up from first strapping your board in. Keep pushing, keep pushing. This is a hard cardio one. Keep going. Just 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, so final exercise coming up now. We're going to just do a press up, nice and simple. I want you to keep a really nice form. Keep those elbows tucked into your sides. Keep a straight back. Nice and slow. Here we go. 40 seconds. Really push through those shoulders again. Keep a nice straight back. Keep those elbows tucked in. Try and get that chest down to the ground. If you want an easier variation, just on your knees. So you don't need to go out with your legs fully extended. You could just go onto your knees to do the push-ups, or you can elevate and go up to something higher, like the side of an armchair. Keep pushing. Keep going. 3 seconds to go. And rest. Okay, so that is the first round of these circuits. So we're going to go into the second round now. I'm just going to show you some extra variations for the exercises. So if you want to make it a little bit more difficult, take a dumbbell, or you can take a kettlebell, whatever you want, just to add some weight. Back into these pulse squats. Here we go, 40 seconds. So just holding that low squat. Just go as low as your range of motion will allow. And then I just want you to bounce. Just pulsing ever so slightly, up and down, up and down. Just contracting and releasing those muscles. Keep holding it, keep pushing. Keep going. Okay, 10 seconds to go now. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Next up is the knees over toes calf raise. The only way to make this more difficult is just to step further from the wall. So remember, we're just leaning, nice bent knee over your toe. Make sure to keep that bend throughout the movement, and then you're raising up onto your toes and then bringing your heel back straight down onto the ground, getting nice stretch through the back of your ankle. This calf raise and the tibialis raise are amazing for helping with your foot movement, obviously coming onto your heel and toe edges. These muscles get used so much on the slopes, so it's a really good one to build up some strength there. Keep going. Just another 3 seconds now. And rest. Next up, we're back into mountain climbers. I'm starting to get a bit out of breath now. Do with these rests. 5 seconds. And go. Keep trying to drive those knees to the elbows. Remember, we're going across the body, getting that rotation in. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Try and keep up the momentum. Try not to slow that momentum throughout this 40 seconds. Try and keep the pace. Push through. 10 seconds to go. Keep pushing, and 3, 2, 1, rest. So next we're going back into the tibialis raise. So head back over to the wall. Just use this rest period to get your breath back. Here we go, starting now. 40 seconds. So lifting your toes as high as you can, right up to the ceiling. Keeping those heels firmly on the ground. Really pulling with the front of your lower leg. Remember, if you want to make this easier, just come closer to the wall with your feet. If you want to make it harder, come further away from the wall. So you should be leaning with your back flat on the wall. And rest. Great work, we're now halfway through this final set. So we're going to go into the Russian twist. So if you want, you can add weight, pick up a dumbbell or a kettlebell, find a weight that's suitable to you. We're going to hold that in our hands. Starting now, 40 seconds. Here we go. Remember to keep that head facing forwards, really rotating with your shoulders and your upper torso. If you want to make it harder, feet off the ground, leaning back a little bit further. If you want to make it easier, pop your feet back on the ground and sit up slightly taller. Okay, just 3 seconds to go now. 3, 2, 1. Great work. We're going to move on to the standing YTWs, that shoulder exercise again, in that hinged position. If you want the extra weight, pick up some dumbbells. Now for 40 seconds, here we go. Remember, keep them as though your thumbs are pointing up to the sky. That gives us a bit of extra rotation in the shoulder. And then squeezing those shoulder blades together, keeping your hands up above the line of your body. Going from a Y shape into a T shape, into a W shape with our arms. Keep alternating back into the T, up into the Y. Keep squeezing, and rest. Okay, should be feeling tired now. We're going to go back into those frog jumps up next, the frog jumps. So jumping forward, bringing your feet between your hands in a deep squat. Come as low as you can. If you want to make this exercise more difficult, you're just going to jump higher and hold in the air for longer. So you're going to really kick those feet up. It turns it into more of a shoulder exercise. Just going to turn around so you can see that from the front view as well. Sorry, I kind of got a bit low in this frame, just cutting my feet off there. Keep pushing, 10 more seconds on this. Keep going, keep going. Get one more in now. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, this is it, the final exercise. Just 40 more seconds of work here. So we're going to work as hard as we can. We're back into those press-ups. Remember to keep really nice form, really straight back. Keep the shoulder blades engaged, elbows tucked in. Here we go, 40 seconds. Remember, if you need to make this easier, you're just going to come onto your knees. It's better to keep a really good form and come onto your knees than push with a bent back. You're not able to engage your full body into this exercise. If I'm starting to look tired, it's because I accidentally did this entire session and didn't record it. So this is actually my 4th set of all these exercises. So I'm actually going onto my knees here because my arms were just absolutely ruined. Okay, here we go. 3 seconds left. 2, 1, and we're done. Amazing work. Well done. So get up, get off the ground, just shake it out, do your little victory dance, get loose. And I recommend doing this a couple of times a week, at least 4 weeks, 6 weeks before you go snowboarding, and you'll just find your body is a lot more adapted to getting out on the slopes.